Hey y'all, hey, this is your girl Miss Jaleisha J, or Coach Jaleisha J. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I see like the growing of the channel. Like I see the channel kind of growing a little bit. So thank you. I'm so appreciative. I appreciate every comment, even if it's a bad comment, I appreciate it. So thank you, because you're giving me views. So I appreciate it. But I will say thank you for coming to the channel. If you don't know me, I am an inspirational speaker and I am a spiritual teacher, and I help you challenge your limited beliefs so that you can manifest and live the life that you desire. And I help you do this by giving you tools and resources to open up your heart space so that you can live a more authentic life. So welcome. Okay, I want to do this video. I think it's been long overdue, but I want to come to you guys to just be transparent about my journey. And everything that I experience, I want to be able to pour back, so that maybe if you are in that space, or you were in that space, or when you are in that space, you'll be like, okay, maybe you can see your reflection a little bit. So I want to talk about why I have left the Dallas spiritual community. Everybody has a community, I think, in different states, or some places may be more prominent. The spiritual community may be more prominent in certain states. I think Dallas has a decent enough size spiritual community, possibly, but the spiritual community I was a part of, it was decent enough. But I have left the community, and I want to talk about the reasons why, what led me there, and why you don't go looking for your tribe or your community, that it comes to you in that process. So let's just dive deep into it. I became spiritually awakened in 2019, and I majorly was online, Facebook and everything, feeling kind of isolated and solo, because everything that I was speaking online, of course, other people were like, what's she talking about? It's weird. Like, what is this? What's going on? And I didn't feel seen. And what happened, I started actually connecting with a lot of different people, or befriending, like following people on Facebook that were kind of aware and conscious and spiritual, and aware of, just being enlightened. And so I started following a lot of people, and 2020 happened, so everything was kind of shut down because of COVID. So I really couldn't navigate a lot, and I was kind of doing my own thing. I was writing my book about my past pain, my past trauma, what it means to be free, which came out in 2020. And I'll put a link in the description box if you want to check that out. Okay. But I wrote a book, and then I was creating my YouTube channel, but I really kind of still was in a space of like not knowing what I was supposed to be doing myself, and kind of really fearful of a lot of different things. Like, I don't think I should move forward with some things. But I was connecting and watching so many people online that was aware and conscious, and I just knew once I got back outside, I wanted to be around these people, and I wanted to make myself available to people. And I don't like the word nice, but I'm a very kind person, and I'm a Libra. So that means I like to be liked. Okay, that's a toxic trait, kind of. But I like to be liked, and I like to be in different different social circles. That's just who I am naturally. So I was engaging with a lot of people online, and especially in the Dallas spiritual community. And so I started going to events. I started meeting people. I started engaging with people. I became cool with a lot of people. And I just kind of also was going through the midst of my own breakdown of my relationships, love connection. And I've done a video about that. You can go look at that video about my love connection previously, because I'm not in that space to go there. But I was in a space of kind of like denial of my feelings, and denial of my grief. So I really dove deep into the spiritual community, because I was like, okay, this is my tribe. I'm going to find my tribe here. This is who I relate to. But what I was finding for myself is that initially I was doing events with people, I was collaborating with people, I was building connections with people, but I feel personally that I was still conflicted within, because I feel that I had not really built my own audience, my own pathway. I felt that people really resonated with me because of who I was collaborating with, things that I was doing, and I didn't have boundaries. So I was saying yes to everything. I was doing everything that I really didn't want to do. Sometimes I was just saying yes to everyone. And sometimes I felt really like some of the people in and the community weren't coming from the space of the same intentions, desires of creating and building and helping other people evolve into their highest self. Some people are still just in the mindset of lack, money, getting gain. How can I get this? How can I get that? Or how can I use you to get other people to come? And I would feel all that energy, and I still went along and did things I really didn't want to do, or I had pause about. And some of those things started failing. Some of the events weren't working out. In the beginning of 2022, I had a vision come to me in a dream that showed that I was going to be removed from the community. I took it like we were going to get elevated, but looking back now, the vision was showing me that in order for me to be on my own path, in order for me to evolve and ascend in my own path, I have to be alone. I have to be separate from the crowd. And that's even part of my North Node. My North Node is in Pisces and Leo. And if you know anything about North Nodes, if you don't, you need to get your chart read. But if you know anything about North Nodes, North Node in Leo, no, I'm sorry, North Node in Pisces, that's spiritual, involvement, really kind of surrendering, lessening the control, because my South Node is in Virgo, so I'm a perfectionist. I want to be in control of things. I'm overanalyzing, anxiety prone. That's me. But my North Node is more about being more of the spiritual aspect, freeing, surrendering, trusting, being in the flow of the universe, trusting that something higher is going on, like there's a higher good, and trusting that, and being free, being at peace. And then by being in my 5th house, which is Leo, it means that my South Node is in the 11th house. So I'm used to always being around people. I'm used to wanting to, that's my safe space. That's my comfortability. But my North Node and 5th house is saying, no, for you to be able to grow into your spiritual development, or for you to be going on the path of your destiny, or where you're supposed to be meant to be going, you have to go solo. You have to be okay with stepping out on your own and shining on your own without any assistance. Now, I believed, and I equate this to the spiritual community, because I believe that I was finding people that saw the same things, or were possibly believing the same things that I was. And so I thought, let me connect with them. Let me mesh with them. They didn't flow to me necessarily, or maybe they did in some aspects, but I really was going to them. I really was like, I want to be around this person. I was manifesting these connections. I was manifesting these relationships. And my path isn't that way, though. That's not the way to my freedom. The way to my freedom is doing this by myself. And then as I show up as my true self, then I align to those who see me for me. I align to my tribe, my people. And I didn't understand that before. I really understand that now. So that was what the vision was showing me, that I have to be alone, which is in alignment with my North Node in the 5th house. So beginning of 2022, I had that vision. And then what happened throughout 2022, I started disengaging from a lot of different people. Like, events were not working out. Things weren't selling like they used to. People weren't coming to events. I started seeing, the things I had intuition about other people, I started seeing come to fruition. There was an instance where I actually saw that, the so-called healers of the community are not actually doing the intentional work. And that's another thing. When you're in a spiritual community, or you're saying that this is what you do, this is your path, you actually have to be doing the work on yourself. And I also feel some of my events weren't working, because I was still in a lot of pain from my romantic connection that ended, love connection. And I had to actually take all of 2022 to heal, and to actually be in a place where I can come to the space of love and forgiveness. And that's going to be in my new ebook, F Shame, Embrace Love, How You Can Heal from Heartache. And that comes out, hopefully it comes out today on Amazon. And when it does come out, I'll have the link in the description box for that as well, if that relates to you. But I was in a place of stagnancy, I think, because I just was so unwilling to face myself. And so this past year, I've had to face myself. And as I've been facing myself, I have been realizing that I have not really been aligning with who I am, the truth of who I am. Even when I would gather, clients, or speak to certain people, I believe that the core essence of who I am wasn't aligning with the exterior of who I am. And I felt like I've been in a space of like people pleasing, not owning my boundaries, not saying I don't want to do this. This isn't alignment with me. This isn't alignment with who I am. This isn't alignment with where I'm going or what I'm desiring. Instead of speaking those things, I kind of just did them. And that it's not that it's wrong or right, but when you have free will and you make choices, the universe is always going to realign you back to where your path is supposed to be. And that can be very uncomfortable. It can be painful. It can be, you're gonna slip up and bust your ass. It can be, you might be alone. And it has literally left me in the space of being alone, because I see a couple things from the community. People aren't really doing the healing. There's a lot of regurgitation. There's just a lot of cycling of the same thing over and over. And there's just also this space of, it's stagnancy. It's almost brokenness, because people aren't doing the actual work. And when you have healers, because when you have healers that aren't doing the work, then that it defeats the purpose. But I also will say that I don't believe that you have to have a spiritual community. I thought that's what you needed, but I think you more alignment need to figure out who you are, be in more alignment and trusting and surrendering to spirit. And the more you just show up in that way, that's who will gravitate to you. Your tribe will find you. I thought I had to go look for it or manifest some things, and that's just not what happened. That's like, I don't regret it, but I see now that it wasn't in alignment. There were times I was making connections with people and I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel like I could breathe in this connection, or I didn't feel like I could like truly be all that I am, because I feel there's tension here, or I feel there's uncertainty here, or I feel there's a lot of different things going on, or I feel that this person or this energy exchange isn't reciprocal, or isn't healthy, isn't conducive to my growth, or we're not coming into the same thing with the same intention. So why am I doing this? And another reason I left is because people have a twist about what spirituality is about, and everyone has their own perception or truth. But if we're really talking about spirituality, it's about the knowledge of self, really coming into your power of self. And they use new age spirituality, which they talk about, the crystals and the candles and the waist beads, and all that stuff is cool, but a lot of people aren't actually doing the actual work that's required for the evolution and the ascension and the quantum jumping. And you have healers really doing the work. Now, those healers, normally they're separate from everyone else. They're doing their own thing in their own lane. If you are part of a community, my personal belief is that if you're just stuck in that community, there can be stagnancy there, because some people are just not on the same level or growth or knowledge or willing to put in the work that is required, because we're always learning and growing about ourselves. And when you're just stuck around the same people and no one's elevating, then you're not elevating either. That's stagnant energy. And I just don't want that in my life today. And I have to separate myself. And it may come back, but I doubt it, because I don't even see myself here much longer in Dallas. So I have to leave. But one thing I can't do, the spiritual journey for me is about growth and ascension, and it's about learning the lessons and knowing that every experience is a divine experience, and not that I need to seek anything outside of myself to gain what I need to know. Everything is within. And I think the candles, the waist beads, the sage, the crystals, all of that is tools. They're tools, but they are not the answer, or even the divination using cards and everything. I use cards, but those are just tools. Everything you actually need is within self. It's learning to trust the voice within. And I'll go back a little bit, because this past 2 years, by being around a spiritual community, I've kind of been like not trusting the voice within, because I didn't have boundaries. I've been people pleasing. And now that I'm actually sitting with myself, I'm listening to myself, I'm honoring my boundaries now. I necessarily don't want to be around certain people anymore. I don't want to exchange my energy that way. I want to be very protective and selective. And I want to create spaces or exchange energy in spaces where I know that we both have the same intentions going forward. And it's not of ego, and it's not of this space of what can I get from you? What can I gain from you? Or you going to take this from me? Or you going to steal this from me? Or I'm going to I'm just not with the cult, the ego, the clique, the mean girl thing. I'm not with any of this at all. I just want to do my journey, and I want to pour out of the goodness the spirit has given to me, and hopefully that helps someone else. So I say all this to say, because I feel like I've rambled. But I say all this to say that if you are on the journey and you're alone and you're feeling different, and I've always said this, if you feel different, your tribe will find you. Your tribe will find you. I just think the more that you align to authentic, like your authentic truth, which is, what are your boundaries? Like when you really get to it, what are some things you just don't want to deal with, non-negotiable? What are things you don't want to have to do? What are things that don't feel good? What do you want to feel like in your friendships and your experiences with people and your connections? Though I think that's when we get to the realness of who we are. Not just, ooh, I'm spiritual and I love to use crystals, but like what do you not want to do? What do you do want to do? Like what do you want to feel when you are exchanging your energy with somebody? That is your truth. That is the realness of who you are. And I have been kind of downplaying that. And also I feel I've been downplaying my power because I was around certain people and I feel like I couldn't step into my power fully. And I'm gonna be honest, if I step into my power fully, I'm gonna draw attention. I'm going to maximize that because that's the energy I possess. That's the power that I possess. But I should never feel I need to diminish that around certain people. I shouldn't at all. And I'm not going to. And for you as well, how can you show up authentically in every aspect? And when you do that, you truly, truly will be in alignment with who's for you. The communities, the spiritual communities, la la la, rah rah, that's great if that's for you, if it's in alignment for you, because my experience can change. I may, as the more I show up as myself, I may meet my people. I went this past weekend, I went to Houston to meet a woman I haven't met before, but I've met her online, and I've always exchanged good energy vibes with her, and actually met her in person this past weekend, and I loved having just a dialogue and conversation with her, and just feeling like I felt seen, because a lot of my desires that I have moving forward, a lot of the things that I am wanting to bring into my reality, I haven't had the people around me that can support that or showing me a reflection of the things I actually desire or that it's possible. And talking to her, I don't know, it was like, what I want, it's possible, it's already here. It's like, and I don't know if I it's just really weird. Like I was so grateful for the connection, because now I'm feeling like you almost forgot who the F you are, that you can create your own reality. And so what you want wants you too. So let's not ease up on that. Let's get to it. But that goes back to, you have to have people around you that are showing you what you want in your own life, to be able to teach you and guide you, inform you, something you can gain, learn from them, or they are already doing what you want to do, they're moving forward, or they have done it. Like, you can learn from these people. I want to be constantly learning and constantly growing and evolving, and I want to enjoy this life experience. We only get one life, and we only have this one experience, and it could be ended by tomorrow. It could be done. So if I'm here, I want to live it to the fullest. But I don't want to live in be in a space where I don't feel like I can be my true self because I have to hinder it. Or I don't want to be in a space where if we're talking about helping others become, their true selves, that we're not actually telling the absolute truth of how to get to that place. And how you get to that place is not just by crystals, and it's not just by waist beads. That could be a part of it. Yes, but everything is within. Everything is within. And we should always be guiding people back to who they are within. Trusting themselves. Finding the truth of who they are within. That's it. And if it's not that, then I don't need to be around it. And that's it. That's all. But I don't discredit any of those who want to go to the spiritual community, but I know why I have to leave. Also, there's bullies in the spiritual community, okay? There's bullies that are healers, that are not facing themselves, and we all are a reflection of each other. So you have to learn. Every person that comes in your life, you gotta learn from. But I had to leave because it's just not healthy. This community over here is just not healthy for the growth, okay, for the movement forward. So I've gotten my experience from it. I saw what I needed to see. I've experienced what I need to experience, and now I am trusting the path that's been given to me and trusting divine wisdom within, and just going with that. So once again, to those who feel alone, look, sometimes you can make a connection to someone in the spiritual community, and when you're becoming awakened and you think this is your tribe, it could be your tribe for that time, for that season, for just that moment to teach you something, to gather, to help you learn or evolve, or it could be a lesson for you. Doesn't mean it's long term. So everybody that's been coming to my life has been teaching me something about myself, and been teaching me where I need to pay attention to, what I need to heal, what I need to work on, and what I need to, you know, show up better as. Where can I show up better as a friend or as a person? How can I be more authentic to myself and be more authentic to other friendships and connections? How can I do that in the best way possible? Every experience you have is not a mistake. It is just guiding you to your highest self. But if you are growing, sometimes the environment around you can't go with you, because that environment will leave you stuck. It will leave you in a place of stagnancy. And when you are trying to really evolve, sometimes you're gonna have to disconnect. You're gonna have to lose some things. You're gonna have to pull yourself away from certain people, or certain opportunities, or certain just energy, so that you can truly be in alignment with what's for you at this moment. And you may come back to it. It may circle back around to your life if that's in alignment. But in order for, and I was talking to a friend the other day about this. She was like, you know, she was telling me she doesn't believe you have to lose certain things to gain certain things. And I'm underneath that belief as well. I believe the universe will show you, look, this is a possibility for you. This is for you. But sometimes you do have to lose some things, or you have to separate yourself or step away from some things, so that you can gain your own understanding and gain your own knowledge, and not be so reliant upon others or the community or certain people or certain energy. I hope that makes sense. But I'm done with the spiritual community, any community. I am just living for what God has put into my spirit. And I trust that my community, my people, my tribe, my kindred souls, people who really see me for who I am, will align to me. And I trust that the community that I build with you guys who are watching this is the community I desire. Those who are actually, you know, we're trying to plug in, you know, we're trying to grow and learn, and we're just trying to evolve. And that's it. That's all. So that's all I have for you guys. I will put in my ebooks in the description box once I have them. If you also have anything you want me to talk about as far as growth, evolving, spiritual growth, self-love, just working on self, please let me know. I only do videos when I feel inspired, but you know, I'll pop off when I need to pop off. Okay? So send you love. Hope you guys have a great week, day, month. Make it beautiful and live for you. Peace.